So lovely. So great. So nice. Plan for tonight. I'm not sure. Any requests from anybody? Anything that like would be really awesome? I'm thinking, like I tend not to do many forward bends because I always feel like I don't need to stretch them, but then I realize that loads of other people need to stretch forward bends, but but they're just so hard. Like it's just such like, and as soon as we go into our forward bends, it's like it's like this stuckness. So maybe we'll free up the deep back line, the back line of our body. We'll start from the back of our head and work down into the neck. We'll do it like rather than just try and fold ourselves like a sandwich, which never really works because you just get stuck in the places you're stuck in. Let's kind of start and do it each bit of the back of our bodies and then see what happens when we try to fold like a sandwich then. Okay. What's really important about these really big tight muscles at the back of our body is that they're tight because we're not feeling them. And they're tight because it's a bit like the spare room in your house. You know, it's like they're big, there's space there, and we just start putting things in there. We hold things in the spaces in our body that we're not quite clear about. So often these big muscles of the back of our body hold a lot of the spare stuff that we're not really, just like we're loading it up as such. And then also, I remember somebody saying once that it was a Pilates teacher who said to my sister that, you know, we sit a lot. And so chairs are pressing into the back of our thighs. And so that pressure is, if you imagine getting phyllo pastry and just putting pressure on it all the time, after a while, all the layers would start to push together and dry out and be less succulent as such. So just the pressure from sitting is actually dehydrating or compressing the tissues in our body, like the back of the thighs, the sit bones, the bum. So we're just going to work on being juicy. So don't hit your edge and go, this thing. More, we're going to move and find, what is moving rather than what is stuck is more important in these parts, okay? So what is moving? Great. So come lie on the floor. Come lie all the way down. Yes, I have all the things I need. Lie on the floor. So as you lie here on the floor, I have this imagination that my body is a bit like the Grand Canyon. So the back of my body is the wall of the Grand Canyon. So the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my shoulders, the wrap around of my shoulders, the back of my rib cage, the length of my whole spine, the lower back, the buttocks. And so I'm really mapping this back part of my body, the backs of my thighs, the backs of my knees, my calves, the heels and the soles of my feet. So imagine that this is like almost like a lunchbox or the container, the walls of the container of you. And then sitting in that container is this vast and powerful front of body. And front of body is where we orient, where we organize, where we communicate, where we digest, where we move. We just, everything is forward in our body. And the container of the back of the body holds us. So let yourself settle more into the back. So you really drop into the resting backwards more so than the momentum forward. You know, we drive forward, we look forward, we speak forward. Just feel that. So rather than forward, really drop your attention backwards. And for me to do that, I start to use my senses. So how do you know that you're not lying in a puddle of water on a rocky campsite right now? Like, how do you know that the floor is dry, that the floor is flat, that it's even, that there's not like a slant, like in every campsite in the country. There's no rocks underneath you. There's a little bit of sponginess. How do you feel that? Notice how you have a scanner that goes backwards and senses the floor beneath you. Maybe you even can notice where there is bumpiness in your clothing, a crease or a fold in your clothing. Where there's more contact, more flesh, and less contact, more of an arch like your lower back, the back of your neck, the backs of your knees, the space behind your waist. Also, I really love hearing backwards. So how would you hear behind you? Notice how you send your peripheral awareness backwards. So try and hear the floor behind you. And then take a deep breath and allow your sigh or your exhale to rest you deeper into the floor, into that contact, the back of your body. So today we're going to work on the whole back of the body. But I remember reading once, this might be total baloney, but I remember reading once that the whole back of the body travels up and comes as far as the eyebrows. So just wiggle your eyebrows. And as you wiggle your eyebrows, can you feel how something moves along the scalp and the top of your head? Like something's happening. And there's always going to be more movement one side, one eyebrow or one side of your head and scalp is going to move more freely than the other side. We lay on the floor for an hour in yoga and wiggled our eyebrows. We want. So just feel that. When you move your eyebrows, does one side move clearer than the other? Nice. And now tuck your chin in a little bit more and just feel length through the back of your neck. And then like you're trying to kind of like rock your head gently, but just check out as you tuck your chin in, can you feel into your scalp that this movement here is pulling into your scalp, into the skin of your head, into the whole back of your head. So your chin is really tucked in and you're kind of trying to connect by creating a sort of slight tensioning into the skin of the back of your neck and into your head. Nice. And then just wiggle your jaw a little bit with your chin tucked in. And can you feel that as you wiggle your jaw, something moves in the back of your head towards the back of your neck? There's all these amazing connections of the muscles, they go backwards. So wiggle your eyebrow, keep your chin tucked in, wiggle your jaw a little bit, and just feel like as you move that you're trying to like just connect to the muscles and to the sense of your head. You can make your lips move a little bit, you know, kind of stretching the skin of your face. You could even bring your hands up to your face and kind of drag or pull a little bit if you wanted to, or not. You know, you could hold your head or just keep your hands where they are. Like, how would you just release into your jaw and neck and nice. And then just let all that settle. Nice. My neck is feeling nicer already. Great. So I want you to feel, I'm just going to double check that I have the right microphone on. Great, I do. Yes, super. Okay, so now I want you to just round your shoulders forwards and then pull your shoulders back and push your elbows into the floor and like pop your chest forward as you do that. So your shoulder blades squeeze together and then round your shoulders forward and then pull your elbows back and pop your chest forward. And as you do this, for me, I feel the rolling of my skin on the floor. It's like I always think I'm like a bear in the woods, scratching my back on a tree, rounding my shoulders forward. My arms are lifting off the floor to help my shoulders round forward. And then I pull my shoulders back and push my elbows down. I have this pop of my chest. Nice. Cool. And rest. Keep your chin tucked in. Nice. And then just pull your shoulders up towards your ears and draw your shoulders down. So now your shoulders are moving up and down towards your ears and then deeply coming down. And my hands are resting on my belly and my elbows are hovering above the floor. So they have their own little flight path. Shoulders go up, shoulders go down, and maybe a sigh or a yawn as you notice, does one shoulder feel different than the other? Does one move clearer? Does one move smoother? Or can you just feel one more than the other? Nice. Drop your shoulders, pull them away from your ears, let that rest. Nice. So flatten your lower back down into the floor and then arch into the lower back. And as you do this, as you flatten down and then as you arch, notice what happens to your chin and the back of your neck. And exaggerate the movement a little bit so you feel more of a drag through the back of your neck. So as I arch my back, my chin tucks down onto my chest, and I feel a drag and a lengthening through the back of my neck. So flattening down, and as I arch, I feel the drag through the back of my body. Flattening down, arch. Nice. One more time, flattening down, arch. Nice. So begin to roll up and down along your spine. And find the point where you feel the gentle stretching of the back of your neck because your chin is tucked in and you have a sense of the torso is traveling up. There's just more weight or more of a pull through the back of your neck. Roll all the way down. As you roll up and down, can you massage into your back, massage into the deep of your shoulders? And just find that moment where the back of your neck is being pulled slightly. As you roll up, find that moment. And for me, as I find that moment, I then reach down into my arms and I have this wonderful sense of like lengthening down into my arms as my chin tucks in. Nice, one more time. Pause, not at that deep sense of back of neck stretch, but where there's not much stretch in your neck at all. And then tuck your tailbone under and lift your hips a little bit higher. And just have a sense now of trying to draw your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. So instead of pushing your hips upwards, it's almost like you're trying to push your pubic bone more upwards. So you're lengthening through the back of the body. Nice. Slowly rolling down. And then walk your feet a tiny bit towards each other. Squeeze your right knee up onto your chest. And just begin to roll up and down from this place. You'll feel more of a lengthening through the back of the right side of your back. Whereas the left side of your back is like arching. The right side is rounding. So how do you notice the difference between the two as you travel up, as you travel down? One more time and pause. Traveling up, draw your right knee as close as you can towards you. I feel like I'm pushing my right sit bone up towards the ceiling. The sense of deeply meeting the back of the right thigh as I draw my right knee towards me. Lowering all the way down, change. And draw the left knee up towards you, interlock your fingers, squeeze your knee deeply down. Begin to roll. Because we're rolling up and down along the spine, you're probably traveling down your mat. So caterpillar yourself down your mat a little bit. And then draw the left knee up onto your chest. Roll up and down along your spine. And I always notice that in this movement, I could travel like a chunk through my spine. But instead, I want to articulate and roll down. Just feel that. How would you roll up and down and make it very smooth? Nice. Next time you go up, pause. Pull your knee towards you. Feel like you're pushing your sit bone up towards the ceiling. And at the same time, what is your pelvis doing? One side is arching, the other side is rounding, but there is this general action through the pelvis, which is really interesting. Sit bone is rising higher and higher on the left. Nice, lowering all the way down. Come to the floor, pause. So reach both hands up towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin in deeply, and then look towards your navel, reaching your hands up towards the ceiling. And then roll down along your spine, bring your head to the floor, but keep your chin tucked in the whole time. So tuck your chin in, rise, and lowering down, relax. Tuck your chin in, rise, lowering down, relax. Tuck your chin in, rise, pausing there. Lowering down, rest. Nice. So stretch both legs up towards the ceiling. Roll into your feet, roll into your hands. So make fists out of your hands and just feel like everything is moving. Big circles. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. Hold on to the right knee and bring the left foot to the floor. So when we did the arching and the flattening, we're going to do it again, but we're going to resist the movement by holding on to the right thigh. So actually start again, bring both feet to the floor and just arch your lower back and flatten your lower back down. Arch your lower back, flatten down. So then draw the right knee up towards you. Create the same movement, holding on to your right shin, arching your lower back, and you'll feel resistance as you arch. And the resistance goes down into the buttock, down into the hip, down into the back of the thigh, and then flatten down. Nice. Arching, flattening down. Move really slowly and meet the whole of this. Arching, flattening down. How would you make this movement smoother? How would you feel more of your sacrum, the back of your body on the floor, that sense of the container of the back of your body as it wraps from the deep of your spine around. How would you soften the container at the back of the body? Nice. Bring your right knee out to the side. So you're holding onto your right knee with your right hand. Just pausing there. Nice. And then bring your right knee back to center. And then out to the side. Those of you who've been doing the morning yoga the last few mornings, we've been diving deep into the inner thighs. So this is just a meet your inner thigh in the evening as well moment. For me, there's all kinds of groany things emerging as the last 5 days, I think we've wandered sideways through the body. Nice. Draw a big circle with your right knee. Keep your lower back anchored on the floor. Bring your hands to your chest. So for me, there's a moment where there's a deep twang. And then if I'm not listening, I don't know where the twang is. But if I slow down, I really feel the twang, and it actually doesn't happen if I slow down. So how do you slow down or make the movement smaller to prevent the twang? And then roll in the other direction. Nice. Stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling and hold on to the back of the right thigh, the calf, or the knee. So bend your knee enough that your leg is soft. So whatever that has to be, that's maybe that you're holding on quite low on the thigh and you're just trying to find, how do I soften my leg? And then just move all your toes. Just wiggle them. Nice. And then point your foot, flex your foot. And notice, are you pointing your foot and not using the ball of your foot, or do you do ball of your foot and then point? So kind of separate out the angle of send your foot down through the ball of your foot and then point your toes and then draw your toes back towards you, keeping the ball of your foot away and then draw your foot back. So there's a moment where it's called a foint, which is like it's like the Barbie foot, where the toes are flat and the heel is high, and then you point your toes. So really just see all the different joints. So I'm doing my ankle and then also the ball of my foot in this movement. There's kind of weird crunchy things happening as I do that. Nice. And now straighten your leg, send your heel away, bend your knee. And see if you can feel, where do you feel this in your leg? And bring your hand to that place of where you feel it. Where do you feel the stretch happening? And just bring your hand there and feel the warmth of your hand in that place as you lengthen, as you bend your knee. Maybe your one hand is high, one hand is low. Maybe you're feeling it more exactly in one place. Maybe it's more general. Just feel lengthening, bending. Can you find the place that's calling you to you deepest in your leg? Where is that? Very interesting. For me, it's really hard to find the center of the sensation. How do you find the center of the sensation and hold it? So intriguing. Just keep bending, straightening, trying to find the sensation. It keeps moving. Does yours keep moving? It keeps changing every time I do this. Keep going, oh, that's always the same sensation. And I have to keep changing my hand position to catch it the next time I do it. How interesting. Keep listening, keep trying to, it's like catching shadows. Nice. Bring your foot to the floor, pause. That's very nice. Other side. So draw your left knee up towards you, squeeze it in. Really feel that sense of your belly towards your thigh towards your belly. And then arch your lower back, resist the movement of your hands, of your knee with your hands. And then flatten your lower back down. So because I'm not letting my knee move, it moves a tiny bit, but not much. I'm feeling the pressure then down into my hip and buttock. Just feeling that. Can you lean into it a little bit more so that you're leaning down into the discomfort of that? Nice. Bring your left knee out to the side, holding onto it with your left hand. Pause there. Nice. Keep your hand on your knee. Just bring your knee to center and then back out wide. Center. Wide. Center. Wide. And then hands to your belly. Draw a big circle with your knee. Notice, is there a twang on this side? Can you slow things down so there's no twang? Interesting, there was no twang in one direction and then there's a twang in the opposite direction. Change direction if you haven't already. Nice. So stretch up through your leg. Hold on somewhere that your leg is soft and relaxed as much as you can with your leg in the air. And then just wiggle your toes. And as you wiggle your toes, you're moving into the ball of your foot. So see that ball of your foot, a fist, and ball of your foot. And so as your toe comes towards you, you're stretching the back of your toes. And then when you squeeze them, you're stretching the front of your toes. How does that feel different in your foot? The front of your toes, the back of your toes. And I'm not really moving my foot all that much, just my toes. So now I'm going to bring to move my foot and my, we'll explain it a little bit better. So point your foot and then move your toes and then bring them back. So have your foot, like the main part of your foot and your toes moving. So they're two different pieces. So foot, toes, toes, foot, foot, toes, toes, foot. How would you do that for you? God, that's really exhausting. This is the leg I broke. It always tells me things are a bit tiring for it sometimes. Nice. Now begin to straighten your leg and then bend your knee. And you can hold on to your leg in the beginning, but then you're going to start holding on and trying to find how would you put your hand on the place that is calling the most in this movement. So interesting. It keeps changing. So straightening your leg, bending your knee. Is it that it gets acknowledged and it changes? Or is it that every single time it actually changes? How would you really diligently try and hold the ache every time you straighten your leg? Is it always the same? Is it not? Nice. Bring those feet to the floor. Pause. Nice. So if you have space, stretch your arms out wide into a T. And then drop your knees down towards the right and squeeze your left knee up towards your right shoulder. And pause there. And then reach down and with your right hand, pull your left knee a bit closer towards your right shoulder by drawing your thigh towards your belly, not down, but more push with your right hand, your hand towards your knee towards the left more on the right side. Yeah. So push your thigh towards your belly and pause. And feel the folding of the back of the buttock and the hip. Release the folding, so you're not pushing with your hand, and then push, release, push, release, push. And you're going to slowly start to let your leg, you push your knee towards your shoulder, and then you're slowly going to start stretching your leg out to the side. Or it travels a bit, your left leg travels a bit out, or you're beginning to lengthen it, straighten it towards the right, and then let your knee come in and then out. And you can do it without your hand if you wish, or you can use your hand. So just see, how do you draw your knee in and then lengthen your leg out? Knee comes in, lengthen your leg out. So make the movement smaller if you need to, make the movement slower. If you were to bring your hand anywhere to support, where would you bring it? I'd bring mine to the side of my left hip. Nice. So bring both knees together, let them rest, and then just bring your right hand to your left hip. And just hold your hip and tell it, you did a great job. It was amazing. Nice. Come back up to center. Pause there for a moment. So this might be a strange image. Imagine that you have handlebars coming out the side of your head. Okay, and then you also have handlebars coming out the side of your hips. Do your handlebars feel straight? You know, when you're cycling a bicycle and you're driving a car and you know the wheel is slightly crooked, do your hips feel like they're the same left and right? You feeling the handlebars? And does your head feel like it's the same left and right, feeling the handlebars? For me, there's more on the left and the right is shorter. I wonder, is that from what we just did? What do you feel? Nice, we're going to try out the other side. So drop your knees down towards the left and then glide your right knee up, hold on to your right knee and try and bring your right thigh a little bit closer towards your belly and just pause there. So you're compressing your right thigh in. Really feel the folding of your hip. And I feel that I'm almost sitting myself down into that right hip a little bit more to give myself a bit more connection into the hip. Nice. And then release the hip or the hand on the knee. Draw your knee in. Release. And draw your knee in. And then begin to just let your leg travel on the journey of lengthening out. But it might not lengthen much. Maybe your leg says no. No, 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 no. Or maybe it says yes. Listen to the voice of your right leg. Maybe it's a very small movement. Maybe it's a very slow movement. Maybe your leg is lengthening out completely. Maybe it's not. Again, if you were to hold any place, you could bring your right hand to the side of the right hip. That's where I'm feeling it right now. Into the side of the buttock. Just bring your right hand to rest on the side of your right hip and just give it some support with contact. Oh, that's so sweet. Nice. Come all the way back onto your back and pause. Nice. So arching the lower back, pulling the lower back down, arching the lower back and down. So stretch both legs up towards the ceiling and start with your knees really soft. Just hold on somewhere. softly behind your knees, your calves, wherever. Legs are as relaxed as you can make both of them towards the ceiling. And then how would you arch your back and then flatten down your back? Just feel that. How would you arch? And so my shoulders are really helping this action. As I arch, it's my shoulders actually that are making the biggest movement. So let them move as well. So pull your shoulders back like one of the very first movements we did, and then flatten down. So my whole spine is trying to help my lower back arch and flatten. My knees are soft. I'm letting my legs move slightly as I arch and flatten. Nice. So straighten both legs. So super straight, whatever your super straight is, you don't have to hold on with your hands if you don't want to. And then how would you arch and flatten here? So now my shoulders aren't doing quite as much anymore. They're doing a bit. Notice what happens in your shoulders. How do you arch your back and flatten down? Arch and flatten down. Nice. From here, pull the right leg a little bit towards you. Release. And pull the left leg a little bit towards you. Release. I'm just pulling one leg. Release. The other leg. Notice where you feel it. Is it consistent? Same place every time you pull? Or is it different? And is there anything else that you're feeling in your leg, or is it only that? That's what's really interesting. This thing that I was saying, sometimes we can't really feel the tight places in our body. Like, what else are you feeling at the backs of your legs apart from just the tight thing? Nice. And then just rub out through the backs of your thighs with your hands. And on the backs of your calves. Nice. And then bring both feet to the floor and pause. Nice. So roll over onto your side. Have your legs long in front of you. So we're going to start by just checking out how is our folding forward. So start out by bringing your hands to the floor and just rock your bum from side to side. So it's like I'm lifting one bum and then lifting the other. And hands are on the floor, so my shoulders and my rib cage are helping me do the movement. Nice. Keep your hands where they are and try and bring your forehead to your thighs. So it's never going to get there. But so you're not aiming for down towards your feet. You're trying to draw your forehead down towards your thighs. And then sit up tall and look to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Pull your shoulders back. Actually drag your fingers backwards, open into your chest. But you're not looking up towards the ceiling. It's the wall and the ceiling, that corner of the wall and ceiling. Nice. Hands forward. Try and bring your forehead down to your thighs. Hands back and look towards the wall and the ceiling. So just travel forward and backwards. And what sensations can you feel in your body apart from the tight feelings? Like, what else can you feel? Can you feel your clothing moving? Can you feel the warmth of the air in the room or the draft in the room? Can you feel the movement in your body, not just the tight bits? Like, how do you feel a little bit of movement in many different places and also many different kinds of sensations? Like, what other sensations are there? It's quite intriguing. Sometimes I just can't find anything except for pain. And I'm like, there must be other things going on. I'm like, oh, look at that. So find the movement of your body as you do this. So for me, as I do this now, suddenly something's changing because I'm feeling not the discomfort, but the way that my clothes are sliding on my back. And it's changing how my body is experiencing the movement. So just travel forward and backwards a few more times. You're not forcing the end, you're just softly moving forward, feeling the end. Don't like knock into the wall at the end of the movement. Nice. Pause, sit up straight. Nice. Wiggle your toes again. Wiggle your eyebrows. Tuck your chin in. Like we did on the floor, almost like you're trying to stretch one side of the back of your neck and then the other. Just tucking your chin in. Just draw your, it's not quite your ear, but you're just, it's like if you were a violin at the back of your neck. You're just stretching the cords at the back of your neck a little bit more. Nice. And then rock your head a little bit forward and see if you can drag the cords down a little bit more into the back of your neck and shoulders. Keep your chin tucked in as you do it and create whatever shape you need to meet the cords of connection down into your neck and shoulders. And as you do it, again, remember, you're feeling the cords, but you're also feeling, can I feel the movement of my body around the cords? Can I feel the temperature of the room, perhaps? Can I feel the clothing moving? I'm just listening to the cords that connect from the back of my neck down into my rib cage and neck and shoulders. And does one shoulder feel different from the other? Is something changing? Nice. Pause. Let that rest. Maybe lean back. Do lean back into your hands. Bend your knees. Pause. Wiggle your toes. So because your knees are bent, you actually probably can't see your feet. So when you move your feet, does one foot feel clearer than the other? Like, does one foot move easier than the other? And let your feet rest and then move your eyebrows. And when you feel that movement up into your head and forehead and into the scalp, is it a similar side that feels a bit dull, or is it an opposite side? For me, it's the same side. Nice. Bring your legs forward. Cool. So bend your right knee and bring your right foot out to the side. So your knee is out to the side, your foot is out to the side. Bring your left hand to the floor, bring your right hand to your thigh, and then slide your right hand down towards the baby toe side of your left foot. And then pull your elbow back and point your hand back behind you. So you're pointing way back behind you, like over there, that's where the ice cream van is. So bend your elbow, turn towards your left leg, bring your hand to your thigh, slide down. And you're in the middle of a yoga class and somebody says, where's the ice cream van? And you go, oh, here it is. And you bend your elbow, turn and point behind you and go, there it is. Nice. Bend your elbow, slide your hand down your thigh, round forward. Turn and point. So as you move, can you feel your clothing? Can you feel the movement of your body? And then also, can you feel the threads and the strings in your body that are twanging and connecting? It's probably the back of your body that's telling you about the twangs. All right, one more time, each direction, sliding down, reach, feeling movement, gliding of clothing, point. Nice, other side. Bend the left knee, foot to the floor, knees out to the side, toes are pointed at a 45-degree angle. Right hand to the floor, left hand to your thigh, slide down, baby toe side of your foot. Rising up, bend your elbow, twist, and then point behind you. Good there. Nice. Bend your elbow, hand to your thigh, gliding forward. And feel that left arm draws you more forward. Pull your elbow back and point. Nice. Sliding down. So as you slide, the lever of your arm draws your scapula a bit deeper and creates more tone texture into the side body. One more time. Gliding down. Head drops, arm reaches. Gliding up and point. Nice. Come back. Both legs straight. Just roll your shoulders deeply. And as you roll your shoulders, feel the moment where you're rounding forward. And for me, there's this area, like when I was rolling up and down in my bridge, as I rolled up and down, there was a bit in the middle of my spine that I couldn't quite connect into the floor. So just see as you round, can you deeply round? And then as you arch, pull your shoulders back. And again, feel your clothing moving. Feel you traveling in space. And then also feel the achy bits. There will be achy bits. We're leaning into the achy bits of our body. But there's so many other things we can also feel. One more time. As you round forward, really rounding. As you pull back, pull back. So we're going to go forward. So always these forward bends, they're agony. There's like a high-pitched squeal going on through the back of the body because the longest nerves in your body are being stretched as we do this. So there's a kind of in your lumbar area is where the spinal cord ends. And then that's where the chorda equina, they call it the horse's tail, all the nerves travel down. So there's a nerve that travels from your lower back all the way down to your big toe. And nerves don't stretch, they're like electric wires. So like elastic bands stretch, which are muscles, but electric wires, there's this, you know, the way just won't go any further. So that's what they're doing. They're going, so we're just going to soften the stretchy bits, which are the muscles around things. So bring your hands to the floor and begin to rock your bum from side to side and lean forward as you do so. So it's like, again, like you're a violin and you're not only playing the E note, which is if we go forward and stay still. Instead, you're trying to play A, E, G, and D. And you're softening the load of the discomfort by traveling through different nerves rather than just staying in one nerve. So I'm really leaning from side to side and almost trying to get my baby toes down to the floor as I go. So I have this, like the load is traveling through all of the back of my leg, more so than just one place. So if we give it an example, if you come to the center and just pause, very soon the intensity of just that becomes very strong in the body because there's nothing else happening. There's no movement. There's only the sound of that discomfort. Now move again, softening into it. Like how would you wiggle your toes as you do this? You know, wiggle your eyebrows, tuck your chin in, lengthen through the back of your neck and round your back a little bit more and let you feel the lower back and the back of the shoulders, the back of the body lengthening and opening. Gently rocking. It's like you're trying to, all those tissues at the back of your thighs that are really tight from sitting on them all the time, like the way we do. You're trying to almost see, could you soften? So bring your attention to the back of your thighs. And you're going to try and feel like you're going A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you're trying to feel the back of your thighs like loads and loads of threads or cords to the back of the body. Nice. One more moment longer. Nice. Come all the way back. Lean your hands back, bend your knees. Pause there. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your eyebrows. Stretch your leg up, wiggle your foot, roll your foot. And just bend and straighten your leg a few times. And then the other side. You can feel where you were working. There's like little echoes of the work you were doing. Nice. I love seeing your legs in the air. Great. Come lie on the floor. All the way down. Land on the floor. So begin to roll up and down along your spine and squeeze your bum really deeply. So we were lengthening the muscles of the buttocks forward, and now we're doing the opposite motion, which is like squeeze and connect into the power of your buttocks. Lengthen through the front of your hips as you roll up and down. One more time. And all the way down. So bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Keep your lower back settled or anchored into the floor. And then try and bring your feet actually slightly apart, maybe 2 or 3 inches apart, so that they can still touch, but they're only when you wiggle your toes. Nice. And then rock so that the right thigh drops onto the floor and the left foot comes to stand. And then just travel from side to side. One leg is lying on the floor, the other foot is standing. And you're just rocking from one side to the other. So we're just soothing or connecting into the muscles and just the deep of the whole pelvic girdle as we do this. Softening, settling, relaxing. Nice. Bring both feet flat to the floor and then rock from side to side. Where is the song of your hips right now? Like, where are you feeling that sensation? Maybe bring your hands to the side of your hips or wherever you're feeling the sensation, hold it. Very nice. Interesting. Holding a place of discomfort actually really changes when I do that. Who knew? That's amazing. Nice. Come back to center. Pause for a moment. Feel the length of your spine. If you had handlebars at your forehead, sideways, and handlebars at your hips, sideways, how do they direct themselves? Like, for me now, that big difference between the left and the right isn't as obvious. There still is a difference, but it's not as obvious. Which side of your body is longer, left or right? Which side of your body can you feel more or see more in right now in this moment? With your mind's eye. Just turn your eyes, don't move your head, turn your eyes towards the left. And it's almost like I start calling from the deep of me. It's like my breath begins to travel into the side of my face and then my shoulder. See if you can yawn or sigh or deepen your breath, or just something settles into the left side as you turn your eyes in that direction. Nice. Come back to center. And then turn your eyes towards the right. And just see, does something settle? Does something deepen, soften down through the right side of your body? Nice. Bring your arms wide. Bring your knees together, your feet together. So your feet are flat on the floor and your thighs are touching. Drop both knees down to the right and then slide your left foot up and tuck your left foot in behind your knee. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. And then bring your right hand down. You can tuck your fingers into the back of your knee if you wish. You can hold underneath your knee or you can just put your hand on your knee. Stretch your left arm up and out of the left shoulder and maybe look down along the left arm if that feels comfortable. Just let yourself settle into the twist. Notice where you're feeling it. If you bring your awareness there and soften in kindness there. Nice. Come back. Both feet to the floor, both knees together. Drop your knees down towards the left. Glide your right foot up. Tuck your toes in behind your knee. Bring your left hand. Either tuck your fingers into the back of your knee and it's like they get stuck there a little bit, or bring your hand to the front of your knee or under your knee. Turn your head, look down along the right arm. Come all the way back to center. And then prepare for relaxation. So grabbing a jumper, a pair of socks, a blanket, or maybe make yourself cozy. Like, it's just so lovely tucking yourself in. I met with somebody, where did I meet them? Oh, on the beach. On Sunday mornings, we have this swim on the beach. And somebody was saying that they came to a yoga class. And they said that it was so extraordinary that I would walk around and put pillows underneath everybody's knees. And then I would put blankets on people. And then I would tuck their feet in. Oh, I still miss it. It was such a beautiful service. That feeling of kindness in service. So just settle yourself in. Land in onto the floor. And feel that container of the back of your body. That sense of, you know, this really solid, slow, deep container of the back of you that moves in a different way than the speed of the front and the soft of the front. So like I said in the very beginning, that I always kind of think that I'm like the Grand Canyon, that there's this amazing, vast container holding the space of me, which is all the front bits as such. Just notice that in you. How do you feel this container of you? Through the back of the head, the back of the neck, the wrap of your shoulders, the wide of the back of your rib cage, backs of your arms, the outside of your hands, you know, that outer edge of you. Back of the buttocks, backs of the thighs, back of the knees, the calves, the soles of your feet. You could soften one little bit more. Where would you drop? Like, what tiny little place could you yield to right now? Slowly just wiggling your toes a little bit. Feeling the difference between the forward motion and the backward motion of your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Feel the difference between when you stretch the front of your knuckles and the palms of your hands. How it feels different. Maybe taking a breath, reaching your arms overhead, lengthening long, stretching. Nice. How wonderful. Just check in, tuck your chin in, just wiggle your chin a little bit from side to side and check in the back of your neck. Has anything changed in that relationship? Just wiggle your eyebrows. And just see if anything changed. Yeah, the one that felt a bit dull and not so connected actually feels a lot more connected, which is really quite cool. I can do Remington steel on both sides. Great. How gorgeous, guys. What a lovely class. Really lovely. Nice. Great.